Alright, welcome back to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. Thanks to everyone who joins me. Today it's going to be a little different video. Thanks to all my subscribers and to the viewers that watch. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that everyone was able to be patient while I figured out what was going on with the audio. It's still not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was, so I hope people are enjoying what I'm doing here. Alright, so I mentioned something a little different today. All four of these kits have appeared in videos I've made over the past few months. And the reason I've got these four out is because I'm going to set up a live stream. Today is Tuesday, October 17th, and I'm going to try and set it up for this coming Saturday. So I hope everyone who can will join us. There'll be a live chat, and there'll be a poll, which brings me to this. So the poll will be asking my viewers and subscribers which of these four kits I should build next. I haven't reviewed this one because it's still sealed in plastic. The reviews I've seen online look great. This one's from Academy, and I like the subject matter. You get 3 vehicles as well as the accessories, so they'll be useful in different dioramas. The Novo, this is formerly a USSR company who bought molds from the old Frog model company. So this is a very old kit from 1977. And I picked it up at the bargain bin at my local hobby store. I think it was $9.99. It wasn't sealed in plastic, and the box is a bit bashed up. But Matt and I inventoried the parts, and everything looks to be there. So that's good. Alright, and so I did a review recently on the Premium Hobbies A6M5C0 Fighter. And I've also got here the Hasegawa A-18D Hornet, which I briefly, I didn't review it, but I just briefly showed it, along with a couple of other kits I received at the same time. So I'm going to review this today, and so it'll be up to you. When we do the live stream, if you're a subscriber, you'll be able to vote in the poll. If you're just a regular viewer, please leave a comment, and we'll tally up the results, and I'll let everyone know and show what I'm building. So for now, we'll just take these extra ones away. The other reason I selected these 4 kits is because they're all from manufacturers I haven't built before. So it might prove to be interesting. Okay, so here we are with the Hornet. I had mentioned in the previous, it's 172, I had mentioned in the previous video where this appeared that I'm not really big on the modern aircraft. They're beautiful. I mean, come on. You know, if you have any appreciation of aircraft and aircraft engineering and design, they're beautiful. But they're basic, and I just find the older ones have more character. But in any case, I also got this too because the F-18 is the I guess strike fighter, whatever you want to call it, for Canada, for the Royal Canadian Air Force. And this is what they fly when they can get stuff up in the air. So, here we go. So this is decaled for the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! Always love the Marines. Flying leathernecks, as the old saying went. And so here we go. So as I said, it's a Hasegawa kit. It's their catalog number 00439. There it is there. Okay. And I apologize for the cut back on the glare a bit there. Shiny box. Okay. So yeah, so you get here USMC fighter attacker, 172 scale, nice box art. And it looks like, yes, this was actually painted by a real person, and we always like to see that. On the side here, unfortunately covered by a sticker, is the model length and other details, and a lovely profile picture, just great there. What the D9 is, I don't know. And then on the side here, it tells you all the languages the instructions are in, I guess. Okay, so that's that. So yeah, it on the side here, it's partially covered by the sticker. Tells you how many parts, 101 parts. It's pretty good for a 172 kit. It gives you the wingspan and the model length, which I can't see because of the sticker, unfortunately. So it was not sealed in plastic, and there are a few creases on the box from shipping, but nothing majorly serious. All right, so let's open it up and see what we've got. You can see there's some blistering here from the, I don't know if you can see it. There, you can see the blistering there, where the box top crushed a little bit. So, here we go. And yeah, my goodness, you get a nice big decal set. I guess we'll see in the instructions, you know, the different schemes that they provide. All right, so everything is, all the sprues are together in one bag. I see some blistering on the bottom here too. But there's nothing shaking around inside there. So let's open her up and take a look. And yes, I'm on to the next model, because if you've been watching, you know that I've completed the Airfix 176 Mark I mail tank, the vintage classic, and it turned out pretty well. There it is. I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing was, at the back here, this setup is, it's not very good. These wheels are supposed to fit into these springy things, or springy looking things. And partly because of my ineptitude, about half and half, the other half being, it's kind of a silly setup where you glue them together. it to here. So it would have been much better if they just made it flat, because this surface doesn't like to be glued. So anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's going to go on a diorama that's going to be static. And you know, if I really wanted to be mercenary about it, I could just ditch these, because later models, that's what happened. They didn't. They found that they weren't as effective as they'd hope, and design changes and so forth made them obsolete. So, but for the period for this tank, this was fitted. They were fitted with this. So that'll be a nice little diorama. I've got some 170. I got some figures to go along with it. And of course, everyone is welcome to check out that video along with all of the others. Okay, so let's take a look here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprues. So yeah, that's a fair little bit. And also we've got pilots and figures. So that's very cool. A lot of companies, they don't put figures in anymore, and it's, you know, it really really irks me. So anyways, I'm going to turn up the light a bit here. Slip the old pad under here so cut down on the glare. That's the glass. There we go. That's better. Okay. So we've got clear plastic parts. Nothing fancy. 2 pieces. The front and the main canopy. Nothing fancy. Alright, and yes, so I should mention I ordered this. I got this from Amazon. And including tax, it was a little less than $30. I think it was $28 and something. So very reasonable. And yeah, 101 parts. So here we go. All right. So here's the upper part of the fuselage, missiles. Again, you've got pilot, wheels. Not a lot of detail, but there's panel lines and vents. So yeah, looks pretty good as far as that goes. Oh, and while I'm at it here today, I want to give a shout out to Max at Model Minutes. He's made quite a big life change for the positive, and so maybe go check out his latest video there. He does great work, and certainly worth the hunt to find him if you haven't already. All right, next we have some more miscellaneous parts here, as well as a standalone stand-up pilot, which I love. Seems a bit big for 172, but not too far out of line, I guess. All right. And we got a small sprue here with a seated pilot and the tail stabilizers. A couple of other teeny tiny miscellaneous parts. only seeing minimal sprue on the figures. Everything else is looking pretty good. And so I guess here we have the lower body of the aircraft. That has some nice detail. Ailerons. I guess this is the nose cone. It's kind of bent on the sprue, but not broken off and no damage. Excuse me. Here we have fuel tanks and other ailerons, etc., etc. And the final sprue is looks like the wings, the upper part of the wings. And so there you go, as well as all the finishing pieces. This looks like one of the wheel struts. And one thing I want to check and see. Okay. Now I think for this kind of aircraft, I would I think I'd like to build it wheels up. So I'll have to figure out how to do a stand. Okay, so that's it for the kit. Let's take a look at the instructions here. Kind of in the Tamiya style. It's a black and white photograph of the completed model. There's a note here, produced under license from Boeing. Which is kind of odd because this was a McDonnell Douglas design. Maybe Boeing's the manufacturer, I don't know. In any case, we'll read what we've got here. The A-18D Hornet was developed for the, actually, this is the A-18D, but we'll see about that after. Developed for the United States Navy and Marine Corps as the next generation carrier-borne fighter and attack aircraft to succeed the aging F-4 Phantom. And the A-7 Corsair in those roles. Change the lighting again. There we go. Plans for the development of the next generation carrier-borne fighter attack aircraft were officially announced by the Navy in 1974. And General Dynamics YF-16 and Northrop's YF-17 fighters were early candidates for the contract. Navy specs for the contract included the ability to carry semi-active radar-equipped Sparrow air-to-air missiles, a firing control system to deploy these weapons effectively, and various features to enable the aircraft to operate from an aircraft carrier, among other demanding specifications. After acceptance trials, the Navy decided that further development of a design incorporating the large size and double-engine features of the YF-17 should be undertaken, with McDonnell Douglas winning the main contract for this purpose. The Hornet prototype was completed on September 13, 1978, and made its maiden flight in November of that year. The Hornet differed from all previous naval aircraft in that it was fully capable of switch hitting between fighter and ground attack combat roles with equal effectiveness. I'll go into that more in a minute. As a result, both the Navy and Marine Corps were able to do away with a table of organization that required separate fighter and ground attack squadrons, combining these combat roles instead into VFA, USN, and VMFA, USMC squadrons. The A model was the first to go into large-scale production. The B model introduced a two-seater version of the Hornet and did not require lengthening of the fuselage. The C and D models are general improvements of the A and B models, respectively, with the most significant upgrades involving night fighting capabilities. A note about being able to put a second seat in, that would have been the ability to do that would be the result of additional microelectronics, as well as new materials for armor protection for the cockpit. In addition to deployment with the United States Navy and Marine Corps, the Hornet also serves with the Air Forces of Australia, Canada, and other countries. Gives you nice data here. Crew of 2, wingspan 11.43 meters, height, engines GE F404, GE 400s, with thrust of 4,900 kilograms for each engine. Top speed Mach 1.8 at 11,000 meters. Has fixed armament M61A1 20mm Vulcan cannon, and its first flight of the CD version was September 3rd, 1986. So that's a good bit of information from Hasegawa on that, and we always like that. So, just a couple of additional notes. The Hornet was among the first aircraft to heavily use multifunction displays, which, at the switch of a button, allowed the pilot to perform either fighter or attack roles, or both. So, as mentioned in the write-up there in the instructions, it was, they didn't have to have separate squadrons. They just flip a switch, and they could change their configuration and their role. This was considered a significant force multiplier ability and gives the operational commander more flexibility to employ tactical aircraft in a fast-changing battle scenario. So in other words, they would just communicate with the pilot, change to this mode, and off they would go. Flip the switch and off you go. It was the first Navy aircraft also to incorporate a digital multiplexing avionics bus, enabling easy upgrades. In other words, you could switch a part out and plug the new part in. The Hornet was designed to reduce maintenance, and as a result has required far less downtime than its heavier counterparts, the F-14 Tomcat and the A-6 Intruder. Same with the F-16s. Wonderful, beautiful aircraft, among the best in the world, but they require a lot of maintenance and downtime. Excuse me. The F-18's mean time between failures is 3 times greater than any other Navy strike aircraft and requires half the maintenance time. The General Electric F404 engines were also innovative in that they were designed with operability, reliability, and maintainability first. So they weren't so much concerned about the thrust and the power. They wanted to make sure that they worked. And the engine, while unexceptional in rated performance, it demonstrates exceptional robustness under various conditions and is resistant to stall and flame out. So that's what they mean by operability. And also, the F404 engine connects to the airframe at only 10 points and can be replaced without special equipment. A 4-person team can remove the engine within 20 minutes. The aircraft has a top speed of Mach 1.8 at 40,000 feet. So, let's continue with the instructions. Alright, right off the bat, we've got the sprue map, or sprue inventory. That's always nice. I love that. Some don't do it. To me, it doesn't do it, or they only do it on some kits. But it's nice to know what's supposed to be there and where it is. And then they give you the paint scheme, and they give two different types. What is it here? Oh, okay. So the white boxes here are Creos Aqueous Hobby Color, and the black numbers are that of Mr. Color. So we move on to page 2. As always, we start with the cockpit and painting of the figure here. This will be interesting when I do get around to building it, because as I said, I haven't built a Hasegawa kit before, and you know, so the instructions will be different. But they give you the steps, and nice too that they put it in English. Instrument panel assembly, fuselage assembly, main wing assembly, da-da-da-da-da. Everything's nicely photographed. Parts are indicated well. Painting. That's great. And we've got 5, 6, 7. A lot of this won't be necessary if I'm doing wheels up. That'll give me lots of extra wheel parts and struts. Yeah. Oh, hey. Next. And last is the final assembly. I'm not sure what they mean here by external stores. It says, I don't know, it may be different aftermarket armament that you can buy or something. I don't know. If anybody knows, please leave a comment and let me know. Then we move to the back. And it looks like we've got 2 paint schemes. The Bengals for VMFA, that would be United States Marine Corps, and the Hawks as well for the VFMA. That would be November 98 and July 99. And so it gives you all the decaling. I don't see... I don't see anything for the U.S. Navy. So the decaling and paint schemes are all Marines. And then lastly, shows you how to apply the decals, miscellaneous notes, and oddly enough at the end they say make sure to read the instructions, etc., etc. So okay, so that's it. Packaging, gonna have to take off the external box was fine, or I guess it was a bag it came in, and it was fine. But it did get creased here, and there's a bit of blistering on the internal plastic. So a 1/4 point off for that. Box art's nice, no complaints there. And I like that they give the number of parts on the box. Not everybody does that. Gives you an idea of how complex the kit might be. So that's that's 1.75, and then 1/4 point off for the blistering because of the external crease. That's another 1.75. So that's 3.5. Parts themselves, the sprues, everything was good except for that one bent part. So I'm not gonna deduct for that. Everything was on the sprues, and nothing seems to be damaged. And very little flash. As I said, just a little bit on the figures, which you'd expect on a 172 kit. So I'm going to give that a 3. And the instructions are going to get a 2.75 because there's no color. But otherwise, that's great. So that gives us 3.5 plus 3, 6.5. 9.75. Is that right? No. 9.5. That's a 9.5. I've never been shy. My math skills, especially after the heart attack, are almost non-existent. So, yeah. So a 9.5 on that. I suppose I could be a little harder on them about the box and the blistering, but I don't like to hit them too hard. So yeah. So 9.5. That's the end of it. So hope everyone will join me for the live stream and the poll and some live chat. Everybody can introduce themselves to each other. And thanks again to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who views my videos. Please leave comments, leave likes. I welcome comments and any fresh ideas or anything like that. So thanks again, and we'll see you on Saturday.